Hello and welcome, Silrace here, and it is time for the first episode of Noobfriendly. As in, first episode after the introduction. This is about the U-100 MK5 light machine gun for the support class. So if you didn't watch the introduction, I'll briefly summarize what I went on about there at length. I've taken over a 4-month break from Battlefield 4. And now I'm coming back to the game to want to play some of it again, and I want to do this series about noob-friendly weapons. Essentially picking a weapon, playing with it, and seeing if it's something you can do well even though you are not good at the game. If I can dominate the scoreboard with a certain weapon, then the weapon is probably clearly overpowered compared to the rest, because I am not good at this game. However, I want to find out if there are such weapons and how well I can do with pretty much any weapon out there. So this light machine gun, according to some stats I saw a while ago, is the most played light machine gun in the game. That's probably because it's the one everyone has to use to start unlocking the support class. There's an exception to that which I will come to in a short moment. And I'll not talk so much about stats, like all the bullet velocities and whatnot, because if you really want to see all the stats and you want to compare, there are websites out there. Synthetic.com is a really good website for doing just that. I want to focus a bit more about playability and how to actually make the gun work for you if you are brand new to the weapon and whatnot. If I even manage to make it work for myself. So, U-100 MK5. Like I said, everyone has to use this weapon, except that I actually never used this weapon prior to making this video. The nice thing about this weapon is that it's the starter weapon for the class, so it comes up with a few things already attached to it. You have a sight, you have a barrel attachment, and you have some sort of a grip. And I had a couple things from battle packs I had previously opened as well. The thing is, I played the single player campaign through, so I had the M249 LMG, so I used that. I never touched this weapon prior to playing this. And I can straight up say that this weapon is utter garbage if you are new to the game. Because you have to essentially play a single playstyle to be able to do well with this weapon, and this is very map and game mode dependent. It has atrociously low rate of fire. So you have to play as a proper support. You need to be behind your friendlies, basically as a second line actual support, and you are providing covering fire or whatnot for your other dudes who have weapons which can actually do close range combat. It's not like you can't kill close range targets with this thing, but you have to have very good aim, which I don't. So when you come across some people using proper short-range weapons such as, let's throw out the FAMAS and an AAK-971 out there with absolutely stellar rates of fire, in the case of FAMAS it has almost double the rate of fire of this thing, you are obviously going to get absolutely demolished. So essentially, like I said, this is very map dependent. I tried to take it to Team Deathmatch, I tried to take it to Conquest Large, I tried to take it to a few different game modes and places and whatnot, even though I absolutely hate Team Deathmatch, but that's beside the point. And it simply functions the best in any map where you can get mid to long range engagements. Because, well, the low rate of fire can be a blessing to a brand newbie, but it also means you have to aim really well. It can be a blessing to a brand newbie because you are wasting less ammo by shooting at walls until you get your crosshair on the target. However, that's not always a positive, because someone with a good aim with a higher rate of fire weapon can still dominate you at those longer ranges. But those are where you have a more of a chance to actually do something with this, because it is also a light machine gun. It has bigger suppression effect than all the other weapons. That suppression effect you can research for yourself if you really don't know how it works in Battlefield. And well, it's been changed from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4 and so forth. However, the nice thing about this thing is that it has, well, okay, it doesn't have the 100 or 200 box magazine, so you have to reload occasionally between deaths. You know, you might be able to shoot your magazine empty before you die. But the reload speed is workable. And it has a combat loadout of 46 rounds, which is 1 in the chamber and 45 in the mag. Which is quite nice amount, it's more than the assault rifles out there, so you have some rounds to spare. Which is very nice. And also, there is almost no recoil to this weapon. I absolutely like that for a newbie point of view. You don't have to really try to compensate massive amounts of recoil, you can just basically hold down the trigger and keep firing away. Well, most of the time. Problem obviously comes with that, the lower rate of fire, making this weapon absolute and utter garbage overall. Simply because, as a new player, you're going to want to, you know, do all sorts of things, you don't know necessarily the maps, and you take yourself into places where you shouldn't be with the gun. So if you are a really careful player, you want to play second line, proper support, this might be something you want to try. And you probably need to use this to unlock the other light machine guns. However, I would suggest moving away from this weapon as soon as you humanly can. It is not a noob-friendly weapon overall.